In video games, we often focus on the hero in our adventures, the good guy out to save the day and restore justice and order to the world. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. So the line between good and evil has blurred since the days of Super Mario, and sometimes we just play as an outright psychopath.
Hey pal! Out!
But the battle of good versus evil remains central to the core of gaming narratives, and just might be the most important storyline ever created. And guess what? You can't have a battle between good and evil without the evil. In fact, the meaner the villain, the better our hero looks dishing out justice, and the more important it is for good to win in the end. When it comes to the greatest video game villain of all time, the most evil, dastardly, sinister, all-around not-so-nice of a person, we can't think of anyone more deserving than Kefka from Final Fantasy VI.
Kill me now.
The Mad Jester himself, the genocidal maniac thirsting to become a god and rid humanity of, well, humanity. This dude is the definition of evil. But what makes for a great video game villain to begin with? There are a ton of examples to choose from, so let's look at a few before examining the inner depths of Kefka's not-so-stable character. A great villain is driven by the desire to create chaos. Just as they need to breathe, they need to destroy what they see as wrong in their respective worlds. Take Shao Kahn's demented mission to merge all realms with his own outer realm, while destroying and conquering anything in his path. This Mortal Kombat Emperor also shares another trait of successful villainy. He's larger than life. It's not every day you get to crash a party through your own portal while physically dominating all your foes as if they're nothing but ants. Also key to a great villain is ambition, threatening masses of people, cities, worlds, empires, instead of just focusing on sorting out some personal vendetta. Albert Wesker couldn't just make himself superhuman, no, he had to take all of humanity along with him. And for what? Well, to rule over them like a god, of course.
Don't you two ever tire of failing in your mission?
How else does Wesker fit the bill as a great villain? The man's relentless. He was literally trying to take over the world, one superhuman prototype at a time, for over 20 years. And we have a feeling that not even death will stop him.
Ouroboros will be released into the atmosphere, ensuring complete global saturation.
Then there's those villains whose intelligence we admire, perhaps even envy, until it becomes clear that they're on some sadistic trip to, let's say, traffic drugs and sell people into slavery.
Jason, what is it? Why aren't you laughing now like you did up there? But is this not fun anymore? Have I failed to entertain you?
Vas Montenegro runs a tight ship and really knows what he's doing in the underworld of drugs and human trafficking. But we're constantly reminded that despite being really good at his job, he's a little, well, insane.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
In fact, he's so good at what he does and so off his rocker that we actually develop some sort of cautious respect for his level of sheer evil, which is another great trait of a damn fine villain. So evil, it's admirable. We'd be remiss if we didn't give an honorable mention to the next evildoer, a top-tier villain that gave Kefka a run for his money, but fell short of the Mad Jester. Portal's GLaDOS.
Hello!
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time.
She is certainly one of the most unique villains ever. Starting as the basic AI voice assisting gamers through test chambers, she evolves into a violence-threatening, insult-hurling, overbearing mother type, growing more and more desperate to keep Chell from escaping the facility.
Well done. Here come the test results. You are a horrible person.
What propels her into the second best villain of all time is her mix of humor and backhanded cruelty. While another standout feature of hers is that she's one of the few females in a male-dominated category.
But for the record, you don't have to go that slowly. Waddle over to the elevator and we'll continue the testing.
Now for the main event, the man of the hour, Kefka himself. One of the main reasons he's such a good villain is that he's extremely hard to narrow down and define. The complexity of his character is almost staggering, and it's his unpredictable nature that makes him all the more off-putting. Any attempt to define him as merely an insane clown or write him off as some sort of psychopath misses the deeper intricacies of Kefka's nature. He's more than just a crazy villain, he's got a point.
Destroy more! Have got to destroy more!
Life can be unfair, that's true, but it's the depths of his bitter, nihilistic pessimism that truly set him apart from other villains. Kefka despises life itself, and unlike Wesker, he has no plans to rebuild society after he's destroyed it.
Now you just sit back and watch the world go kaboom!
But here's the catch. He's actually the victim himself of an experiment gone wrong. So it's not his fault, but it's his fault? You know what we mean. We sure can't forgive him, but we also can't completely condemn him either. And we really want to condemn him when he commits such devastatingly cruel acts, such as poisoning the water supply of Doma, well after the siege has been decided. The ease in which he commits mass atrocities with zero regard for human life is the key factor in our decision to name him as the greatest villain. He's a broken man that becomes a vengeful god, and the outcome plays out exactly as you'd expect from someone so completely shattered. The desire to destroy all creativity, life, and hope. The story arc in which Kefka goes from being the silly jester to the mass murderer to the evil god is as off-putting as the man himself.
It feels so good to dominate!
It's as if the whole time he's operating as a Trojan horse of sorts, pretending to be the silly clown so that no one will take him seriously. Initially, he doesn't look intimidating or evil. He's brightly dressed, small in stature, and almost cowardly in presentation. Yet, we soon find out that looks truly are deceiving, and his acts become more and more monstrous and eventually mirror his final form. An ungodly, multi-layered demon that gives way to an angelic representation of death itself. Well, that escalated quickly. Kefka's endgame is to destroy the world, and he accomplishes it, which is quite unique for a video game villain, another reason he's the best there is. But as the story of good versus evil always teaches us, good wins out in the end. It's not without struggle, of course. Immense struggle, in fact, as Kefka's evil is unlike anything we've ever seen in video games. But it's because of this colossal evil that the victory of hope, love, and goodness is all the more spectacular. As we previously mentioned, you can't have good without evil, and the final joyous moments of Final Fantasy VI would not have been possible or memorable if Kefka had not have been the greatest video game villain of all time.
Ask a dumb question and... you get a dumb answer!
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.